This summer, one of my little granddaughters drowned in the pool. Just a little squirt. And they were fooling around with a side vent. And she has long hair, and she didn't do it right for the pool, and it sucked her into the side vent. Her daddy was there, and her mom was there, and some other kids and such. And it drew her right against the pool, and she drowned. And so finally, one of the other little kids come running up to her daddy, my son-in-law, and said, Jaden's not moving. We don't think she's fooling around. So, of course, he ran over there. He said, I put both feet against that pool, Dad, and grabbed her hair and could barely get her free from the side of that swimming pool. But he said it was kind of too late. I threw her up on the deck. And me and a friend tried to do whatever CPR we knew. And it just got worse. And finally, shortening the story, finally the first responders came, and they're working on her. And it's going on 5 minutes. I kept hearing the one emergency person kept saying to my son-in-law, there's no pulse, there's no breath, she's already turned color, she's cold, and other signs that happen to your body when you die. And she's laying on that deck. And I asked the responder later at the hospital, he said, I looked down, we did everything we could do, Reverend, for that little girl. We do this all the time. And I looked down, and we watch our clocks for different things. And I looked down, and I'm looking at 5 minutes plus. And my brain is saying, even if she comes to, but she's not gonna now. She'll have brain damage and other things. And then I started to, push the signal that I'm gonna have a dead on arrival. And I'm down there, and I lifted my hands off that little girl, and I looked to your daughter to shake my head no. And he said, your son-in-law screamed out a blood-curdling, like I've never heard before. No, Satan, you cannot have my baby. We are tithers. God will rebuke you today. And that paramedic, not a Christian, he said, I never seen it. He said, that little body jumped about that far right off that deck. Just jumped up, opened her eyes, and said, can somebody turn off the pool, please? That was her first words. They took her to you can clap once, go ahead. That's a mighty miracle. That's a mighty miracle. They took her to the hospital, and the doctor's standing there. And when they arrived, and I'm there by now, and they arrived, and the doctor said, they unload the ambulance, and little Jaden comes walking out. And the doctor's looking around, he goes, where's the girl that died, the drowning victim? And the emergency crew is going. And he said, no, I was called in because somebody drowned. He couldn't even say it, he just. So they checked her all out, said, well, there's nothing wrong, but they wanted to take her to the children's trauma thing, the specialist. So they went over there. And they asked Jaden, they said, well, what do you feel? I mean, is there something wrong? Do you hurt? She goes, no, I'm like Jesus. I've been raised from the dead. Children's church. Children's church. That's children's church.